Hello everyone, my name is Ludmil and I am DevRel contributor at NearDevHub. I would like to welcome you to the 5th Tools community call, and if you haven't attended one of those yet, these are informal sessions where we share updates, discuss and present projects from the ecosystem. If you want to get involved, join on our Telegram group or visit the Tools community page at neardevhub.org. You can see the recordings of the previous sessions on the DevHub's YouTube channel. On today's agenda, well, it's actually very packed, but I am very happy that we are joined by Elliot, Luke, Vlad, Yuval, Zahid, which pretty much I think that all of us are familiar with by this time. But this call is also a little bit special since we have two projects that are going to be presenting that emerge from two of the recent hackathons that Near and DevHub were partnering with. That's Okashi from ETH Denver and Republic also from ETH London. Thank you for being here. So for today's agenda, we'll be starting off with Vlad, who is going to present us with updates on the Near's Rust stack. So without further ado, Vlad, if you're ready, then you can take it away.
Yeah, thanks. Let me share a screen. Can you see it now?
Yep, we can.
Perfect, thank you. So, well, I'm pretty involved with many of the tooling in Rust ecosystem, but I'm happy to hear all the updates from the other folks in the ecosystem as well. So I will not steal all the updates for today. But the very important one, I believe, is the progression of Rust SDK getting even more and more friendly and short and straight to the point. So with this latest, so there was release 5.0 just probably months ago, and it was a huge, just polishing process of getting all the paper cuts reduced to the maximum, but also during the time we left a couple that we addressed in this 5.1 release, which is this introduction of a new attribute, near, and it makes the boilerplate so much shorter. You don't need to specify any serialization logic, whatnot. It's by default, it uses Borch for a serialization implementation, and you can add JSON easily. So when you can add this attribute to any struct, or to parameter struct, to contract state struct, to impl struct, impl block, and it just, yeah, I believe makes the whole implementation much easier to reason about and understand. And yeah, on the 5.2 release is coming as well, and that is something that to look after. Another paper cut that we didn't have time to address before releasing 5.0 was the iterable map implementation. We realized that unordered map in store in the new collections had a performance issue, but the old collections unordered map was also not ideal from not matching the expectations for hash map users. So 5.2 will be will have this new iterable map. Next is the LedgerApp in Rust. Kudos to her for authoring it and basically building the whole app from scratch in Rust. And we are undergoing the formal security audit there, expecting to go live, fully live on Ledger Live Marketplace in May. So it's just like all the features of Near protocol are going to be supported here. Next is SourceCan, Argo Near integration. So we hope that soon enough we'll have unified experience of when building Rust contracts with full support to verify it, to discover it after it has been deployed to the chain, using the metadata map. We will include the information about the repo, where to find the contract code, and also the commit hash, and also a way to confirm that that code snapshot actually is leading to this exact WASM file, which is like means a lot for the security point from the security point of view. And yeah, well, and even more updates are included in these DevHub weekly newsletters. So I'm also encouraging everybody to subscribe there. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Yeah, great. Thanks a lot. I don't know for those of you who aren't familiar, the 5.1 release of the SDK actually gave us the opportunity to reduce the boilerplate that it's needed for each and every struct that yeah, it was getting a little bit like more than 5 lines, and yeah, it was cumbersome to write. So I think that this update was like super necessary, and it was really nice to have it. Thanks a lot, Vlad, for the updates. And yeah,
just to show how it changed here in the release notes, you can see before and after.
Yep.
Yeah,
if you have like a fast example, you can go ahead and do that, and then we would move. Then we would move to Morgan. Vlad, do you have a fast example to show?
First example of the code.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. So basically,
yeah,
what we were
maybe
saying,
later
yep,
after the round.
Okay, then. Next up, I would like to bring Morgan with Okashi. He was participant in ETH Denver. ETH Denver. So, Morgan, if you are ready, you can take it away.
Let me share my screen. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. All right, so I'll jump straight into the code. And this is so funny because as you were narrating that 5.1 update, I tried out integrating that 5.1 upgrade into the Near playground I was building, the version of Okashi for ETH Denver, and it worked. So that was nice.
Let's go.
So yeah,
there you go. The best demo delivered.
So it's just importing Near and environment, and I'm not using derived default because I'm just, I'm defaulting to 0 here. But I could remove this also pathetically, and so it would be very minimalistic. But anyway, so what is this project? So my name is Morgan. I'm from Okashi, which is a playground environment built for Soraban on Stellar. Funded through their grants program. And at the ETH Denver Hackathon, I showed a demo of Okashi to Boris and Owen, and they were like, can you build a version of this for Near? And so what you're seeing on screen is an experiment over a few days that allocated at the conference to see if I can simulate this. So on the left, you have this code editor widget. On the right middle, you see the contract interface. So right now, this contract has one function. That function is one button. Let me just reload this real quick. And if I go ahead and click that button, it goes to the contracts, executes it inside the browser, and returns a value. And with that, you can get instantaneous results because it's not leaving to go to an RPC, to go to a network. It's all running in your browser because this is WASM, right? These are WASM contracts. And it's a pretty easy way to develop intuitions. I'm just going to add another method, recompile it. So this goes back to the compiler and spits out a new WASM, and then that's loaded in the browser. And then we have increment and decrement value. And then the last thing I added at the conference was function arguments. So previously I showed you functions without arguments. This is a function that takes in an argument. Let's recompile this. Now we have 3 functions in here. Increment by, and so the value previously was 20, increment by 100. Let's click call, So we got 120, 220, and all of these functions also work as well. And you can imagine with complex cases, with events, with inputs, with errors, and whatnot, this can become a very easy way to develop intuitions for how the SDK works, how the smart contract works, and the beauty of it and the killer feature of it, of this environment, this playground environment, is the fact that it's running in the browser. I'm not making any network calls, and I'm simulating the Near environment. So like serializing, deserializing arguments, various other environment functions in JavaScript. In the playground application in the browser, and that allows me to spit things out into the into the console, into the user accessible way, human readable way, and a nice way to debug things. So that's the crux of it. That's sort of a proof of concept that came out of ETH Denver, and it was really interesting to learn the complexities and differences between what our team was used to, working on the initial build of Okashi with Sorbonne and Stellar support, and then seeing how Near was different. And this was a total from scratch type of thing because of the conditions of the hackathon. But the core concept of it is still the same, which is a playground simulated in the browser that allows instantaneous contract calls. So yeah, that's sort of the demo.
Wow, amazing. I don't know about you guys, but I am quite amazed. And like we have seen a lot of people trying to do similar things into Near before, but not to this extent. So Morgan, I have a question. If you're simulating that and you're transpiling everything to JavaScript, you say, so this is how you update, would it be possible for when those calls are like simulated to just make a transaction via RPC method to a real contract that is deployed on the network?
Right. So the production version of Okashi that's built for the Stellar Sorbonne contract platform does allow you to switch from the simulated environment to the testnet or the mainnet environments, and then that goes to RPC land, that goes to the real network, and it's still you're able to like easily switch. Like, I want to test this out, boom, 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 the tests work. I want to ship it, you ship it, and then it's live on the blockchain. So it's sort of a faster iterative process without thinking of your contracts as being like very precious that you need to submit to the network.
Amazing. And I have a question from the chat. Do you interpret Rust code, or what exactly is going on here? Like, to some of us, looks like magic, and it is.
So the Rust compiler spits out a WASM, a WebAssembly executable. I'm interpreting the WebAssembly executable in the browser, and it's hooking into a JavaScript environment for Near. So the JavaScript environment is a Rust environment, but I'm simulating the Near Rust environment in JavaScript. And so the WASM contract is directly calling my JavaScript, and it's all JavaScript land and not Rust. And that way it's able to run in the browser instantly.
Yeah, amazing. Zahid, you have a question? If we can keep it quick so we can move with the agenda, that would be amazing.
Yes, so great project. I'm curious, like, did you try with web container? So how it will different, like, so you are simulating everything, every functionality in Near VM, right? Then if something changed there, so you have to change.
That's true.
But did you try like a web container?
No, I haven't tried it. No.
Okay.
Okay, so that's something else to be discussed. Actually, I believe that there are many more questions are coming up your way, Morgan. So brace yourself, join the Telegram group, and maybe
Will
mute
do.
it because like you'll be bombarded with messages. What you did is amazing, and I think that this opens like a lot of possibilities for further integrations with different parts of the tools ecosystem, and I'm sure that all of us are happy to have you around. And yeah, thanks a lot for your presentation.
Thank you.
So I would like to continue with Ilya. I think that you're going to present, correct? From Republic. They were hackathon participants in ETH London. So if you're ready, Ilya, you can take it away.
Yep, one sec. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will present you the project me and Andrei made in just 2 days from scratch in Ethereum London hackathon. The project called Republic, deployed with just a Git push. So what the problems we have in Web3 space? So it is still, for me, because I'm not a Web3 person, I'm mostly a Web2 person, it is still hard for beginners to start for many reasons. For example, you need to like have the wallets, you need to pay to gas when you deploy. There's like so many things. From my perspective, Web2 developer experience is still much better, and I will explain why in just a second. Manual deployment sucks, and in Web3 we kind of don't have like the good CI/CD culture. So when we were at the hackathon, we were thinking, what if we can take some cool part of technology which is considered as insanely good developer experience in Web2, exactly like Vercel Cloud, and try to bring it into the Web3. So basically what we did, we incorporated Near and taken the developer experience of Vercel to create the Republic. So how do we deploy code for now? So when you develop locally, maybe in your local IDE, you need to, for example, on the hard hat, you need to manually set up your private API keys. You need to ensure that you have enough tokens to pay for gas on the testnets you want to deploy. If you're like using Alchemy, you need to also make sure that you have enough tokens as well. And then you just need to manually do all these things by yourself, like deploy on different chains. What we made that you need to just a Git push, like you're a developer, just push your code to the repository on the GitHub, for example. We are catching this event via webhooks and try to auto-deploy on the testnet you specified using Near chain signature. So we use Near to pay for gas on every chain you deploy. So it would be better just to show you. Let's show you the demo. Firstly, in our platform, you need to sign in with GitHub. I will use my main account for this. Let's wait for, yeah, I'm logged in. So the first thing we need to do, we need to install custom GitHub application. I'll install it for my main account as well. And I'll select a repository, like account. There's this repository with Near written in Rust. We're installing the app, and then we can import this repository to our project space. We are selecting our framework presets. So because you can deploy on multiple chains, you have a lot of different types of projects. So for this project, we select Near Rust. We are creating it. Waiting for a second, and here our project is. So what do we need to do? Firstly, we need to set up a little setting, which is called branch mapping. So, for example, I want to set this rule. When I push or someone pushes to main branch, it will deploy to one of the deployment targets. For example, it can be Near testnet, or Arbitrum stylus testnet, or Ethereum Sequoia. Let's choose Near testnet, save this, and go to deployment. So the thing I need to do is, let's say I'm a developer and I change something. What do we have? We have README. Let's change README for the convenience. We like add something like test. We git add this, git commit with message, for example, test 456. Then we git push to our repo, waiting for a second, and going back to our platform. So as you can see, it has created the deployment and added it to the queue. At the same time, we have the background worker, which will take all deployments, try to deploy them. So as you can see, we can look at deployment logs at real time. We can see the statuses at real time. We can see what the info we have. So if you ever use Next.js and Vercel Cloud, it's maybe very familiar for you. We actually tried to do the same user experience as well. So you can see it's updated by me, like test commit name, etc. So when it's deployed, we can easily have our deployment in this overview page. And as you can see, we have a transaction on near testnet. On execution plan, we can see that it deployed a contract. And yeah, that's it. So let's check another thing. For example, if we change introduce a bug, for example, we go to src, let's go to lib.rs, and we for example, made a typo. We accidentally git add this, we git commit this with message bugged, and we git push as well. Let's get back to Chrome. It also created deployment. Everything is going in real time. So let's see how it's building. And we wait for just a few seconds until we see how it's building. So it's doing its job. And we should see an error in just a second. Yeah, we have a failed deployment. So yeah, let's get back to the presentation. So what's our roadmap for this project? This project can be perceived as your home page to multiple projects on Web3, not entirely on Near. So this project benefits all of Web3 because you can use our software to deploy on Solana, Ethereum, etc. on Near as well. And two things we want to implement is batch deploy template marketplace. So if you use Vercel and Next.js, you might know all the very cool things about it. Is that in many GitHub repos and in many documentation files, you can see this beautiful button deploy where you can just click it and it will deploy automatically your code. You can see how it works, and yeah, that's a very cool thing. So what we want to implement in our roadmap, the same feature, for example, you go into the Near documentation, and for some people, you can have this button, and after clicking it, it will do all this thing automatically in background. It will clone repository to your GitHub account. It will deploy it, and you can check it out. And as well as the templates, you can create multiple templates and just with click of one button, deploy it and see how it works. So yeah, let's ship the future of Web3 together. And you can see our DevDAO proposal right here if you're interested on this QR code. Thank you. Me and Andrei will answer on your questions if you have any.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ilya. One immediate question that we have from Morgan is, can you elaborate of how do you manage the keys and the admin access to the contract?
Admin, yeah, so it's one thing on our roadmap we're still thinking about, but just for right now, we doesn't have this implemented because it was a hackathon project. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Just put them into the chat. Meanwhile, yeah, as Ilya mentioned, I believe that, well, there is a proposal from Republic on the Near DevHub activity feed. So if you want, with a pretty detailed roadmap, and yeah, as Ilya mentioned it, if you want to learn more about it and you want to get contacted or suggest any features, I assume that this would be a very, very good place to start the discussion and keep it going. I see that there are no more questions in the chat. So next we'll bring Elliot with bos-workspace. If you're not familiar with the bos-workspace, basically this is a tool that helps us build Web3 components on Near for decentralized frontends, and it speeds up the development environment with instant feedback. So it's a tool that I've been using a lot, and I really like it. So I'm curious to see what you're going to present, Elliot.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for that intro. Yeah, so bos-workspace recently just kind of underdid a rewrite into TypeScript with some like considerations in it to make it a little bit more modular and easier to work with. So today I was just going to do a really quick start because since it's been a while. But so bos-workspace, you can use a Near Builder's bos-workspace. You can start it off with a template repository if you want. So I'm just going to use that. Clone it locally. Sell packages. And then it already has it has an app inside of it. So bos-workspace, it will start you with your own default gateway, so you can start coding right away. I've already put in one that has the greeting contract, so this is just a guestbook example. It can work in either mainnet or testnet. It is just through a flag, so we can boot it up in testnet, and we'll see it come again. Now it's in testnet. Another thing that you can do, so one of the nice changes in the new bos-workspace is that it's more composable. So it used to be where everything had to be inside this apps directory, but if you don't want to be inside of an apps directory, you want to just have a repository dedicated to only one app, you can do that. So for example, that's helpful if you want to do submodules inside of a gateway. So like, let me pull in, I'm going to do a submodule. I have this repository that has the code, all the widgets for devs.near on it. I can now run it locally and it's popping up on the wrong screen. But now I got devs.near also in my workspace. So that's a nice little thing. So you have workspaces and apps. That's kind of different. And then you're also able to do clone. So we can clone somebody like create.near. Oh, actually, wait. Create.near, and we got to put inside this apps directory. There we go. So now we got 3 apps. We got one that we started off with. We've got another that we pulled in from a Git submodule. So that has its own repository with its own oops. It has, yeah, it's its own repository. It has its own secrets hooked up. It uses a workflow that is shared by bos-workspace, but maybe we can put this inside of Republic. That might be pretty cool. Let's see, what else can I show? Oh yeah, and then you also have this option to provide your own custom gateway distribution. So for example, I've been working on this LivePeer app. So it's a NearBlocks web component. It's a web component that has the Near Social VM installed in it, as well as LivePeer. So it exposes LivePeer components to widgets that you can use. So let's say that you are doing development and you want to use this gateway instead. I have built it locally. It's right here. And then I'm just going to move it over into here. So now I can provide that path. And we will, so our workspace has changed. Our default gateway has changed. We're now using one that is set up with live peer, but we're still able to do we're able to access these local components that we've been working on. So like that's the greeting card app. I can make changes inside this apps directory. You know, I don't know. Local changes on this new gateway. You don't have to configure flags or anything like that. It's just set up that way. Anything else? There's aliases. You can set up different aliases depending on the environment. You can even set up, it doesn't have to be an environment name. It can be something like staging or something else like that. What matters is this bos.config.json. What's not shown here is some helpers for uploading data to IPFS, so you can have assets locally. I don't really have an example of that right now. I think that's it. So if you want to try bos-workspace, go ahead, NearBuilders/bos-workspace on GitHub. I guess it's SEO ranked. That's kind of cool. And yeah, just go ahead. There's a quick start right here. You can use it as your template. That's all.
Amazing. Great. Thanks, Elliot. So one of the questions that I see that actually you've done quite a lot of work since the last time I checked on the repo, but I see that you created a way to have like custom gateways. This would probably allow, or at least what I've been tinkering with it in the past, can allow of actually styling components with using Tailwind. And I know that you've also been thinking something in the similar way. And to what extent have you explored the idea?
So yeah, that could totally be a possibility. You could have gateways that do have their own CSS packages installed. There's also somebody made a recent Tailwind wrapper, this guy named Bucky, which is actually a pretty cool one. But we don't have to talk about that. But yeah, mostly it's trying to go after this like, so Boss Web Engine and LM and a couple of the others, or SDKs.near, we're able to like import NPM packages onto Boss or the other web engine. But there's still like this failure to, or there's still this inability to load in like components. So something like live peer or something like TLDraw. We have a web component that has TLDraw canvas and exposes that through the VM. I haven't been able to get that to work inside of these other things. So yeah, that's kind of like the main focus. Are these type of like sandbox environments, these packages that provide components, maybe radix or something like that. And so being able to build that environment so that you can build widgets, regular Boss widgets inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Great. Zahid?
Yeah, so great work, Elliot, as always. So how do you manage the versioning? So like if I fork, let's say one of the older SDK or workspace, then like how does the update will propagate to everyone else?
It's backwards compatible still, but if you're looking to use the new one, there's a migration guide. I'll put that right there. But it's backwards compatible. The old ones still work.
Nice.
Great. So thanks a lot, Elliot, for your presentation. And yeah, well, let's move forward with Yuval. Yuval has been with us for like a couple of calls now. I think that's 3 so far. So it's quite happy. We're quite happy to have you pretty much every single time, Yuval. Thanks for joining. Yuval is presenting LavaNet, so I assume that most of you are already familiar, but LavaNet is providing decentralized RPC services and, in general, access to different blockchains. So it's not just Near. Yuval, if you're ready to present, then take it away.
Yeah, thank you. Just to be sure, am I the record holder for the maximum calls attended?
To be honest, I don't think so, but you're on a tie with Zahid, I
That's you.
guess. And Vlad, yeah, of course. So you're pretty tight for the first place,
Yeah,
but
okay.
nonetheless, we are happy to have you every single time, man. So
Thank
take
you.
it away.
I'm looking forward to the reward that's
You
coming
can
up.
mint an NFT, but
You
more.
get an-
Okay, take it away.
Yeah, I'm gonna show my screen. So yeah, I've been I've been consistently sharing information about Lava here. I actually presented this deck exactly today on the other infra call, which is also nice. I think, yeah, I've been on like 20 near ecosystem calls, which is amazing that you guys are consistent about those stuff. So I'm sure most people know what we do already, but just try to always give a short intro. Lava is building a modular infra layer for Web3 data that can be any kind of Web3 API. So that starts with raw RPC, and it gets more complicated with the archive data, advanced APIs, and essentially any kind of data set. It can be relayers, indexes, oracles, anything that can be anything that is a Web3 API. We can create a market for it. Lava creates a market for it and incentivizes data providers to compete over the best quality of service. So we are partnering with Near Foundation to incentivize data providers to provide very reliable, super performant RPC for Near. We launched on February, 2 months ago. We launched also what we call Magma, which is a really cool initiative that is bringing the Near and Lava ecosystems together. I'll share more about that in a minute. So users are using Lava on Mintbase, Ref Finance, MyNear Wallet, Sender Wallet, Chowdog, and many more. And we're actually working with those dApps and other dApps as well and wallets to make Lava the go-to RPC choice for the new ecosystem. Again, Lava is not running the RPC itself. We have a very large network of providers that are powering this endpoint. Many of them are, from the ones that were previously supporting Near, but now they are supporting via Lava and earning Near tokens for it, which is really cool. And we've been working on onboarding new providers, enhancing the caching mechanism. And also we've seen a lot of traffic on the APAC region. Countries like Seoul, Hong Kong, have had a lot of traffic, so Singapore as well. So we're working on making the latency there even lower. You can see some stats. We have around 70 active providers this month, almost 5 billion requests, which is really, really high, especially compared to the last month. And it keeps on growing. So you can see on average we're now about 400 million requests per day, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, some name dropping for providers. Gonna skip that. You can see the traffic here as well. And moving on to the geolocation spread, you can see Vietnam is #1, United States #2, then Thailand, China, Germany. So definitely a lot of usage. Yeah, more than 400 million per day, which is crazy. I think it moves between like 200 to 400 right now. But last week when I made the deck, it was 400 daily. Yeah, so you can see a lot of concentration in Asia, which is why we're improving the service there. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. And yeah, Magma Points, I keep sharing this every time because it's a major part of what we're doing right now. Essentially, it enables any Web3 user to get a customized RPC endpoint for Near, powered by Lava. You put it in your wallet, and every time you make an on-chain action, you get Magma Points, which might make you eligible for any reward system that Lava Foundation will decide on mainnet. So essentially, you put it in your wallet, it works in the background. Every time you open your wallet, every time you make a transaction, every time you take, you check the price or log into any DeFi app on Near, and you keep gaining points in the background, which is really nice. So this is kind of a way to engage people in the Near community, connect them to the Lava community, and make them more, encourage them to be more active on chain. Yeah, and we're adding Near Wallet Selector really soon. We've had some issues with that, but should be ready pretty soon. Yeah, I think I'm
Sorry
in
to
the.
interrupt you. Elliot, can you stop sharing your screen? Because I think it's not intended.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Go ahead. It was a message to Elliot because he didn't stop sharing, and we had two screen shares at the same time.
I see. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm finishing in a sec. So yeah, a few testimonials, and yeah, moving forward, we have, as I mentioned, we're onboarding more providers, expanding support in Asia, and we have a few features coming up like web socket subscriptions, archive support, caching enhancement, DDoS protection, and potentially even advanced APIs more than RPC. I'm going to share the link to our docs if anyone wants to check out the endpoint and they didn't get a chance yet. And yeah, feel free to ask any questions. Yeah, so it's not really, it's subsidized by Near.
So the question is, how do you support all this traffic with the free RPC?
Yeah, so as I showed, we have a network of providers who are providing this service on the backend, and they are rewarded with Near tokens that are essentially granted or subsidizing the support, and it's funded by Near Foundation. This is public RPC. There is going to be a custom RPC, which in the future, which isn't going to be subsidized, obviously, for more, larger dApps and users.
Great, thank you, Val. Thank you for the prompt slides, and thanks for a lot of the updates. Is the data that you showed publicly available? Like, can people just track of like what are you doing? Because the numbers that are going around are amazing. So they're pretty big, and like we see a lot of interactions, not only through, and this is only through the services that through your providers, correct? So the nodes that are handling transactions, the RPC nodes that are handling transactions outside of LavaNet are not in the statistics, correct?
The data that's what? Sorry?
The data that you showed, it's not including other RPCs which are outside of your network, correct?
Right. That's just Lava. We have a dashboard for it. I can share it here, but it's kind of incomplete. So we're working on having a more reliable.
Maybe on the next call. Maybe on the next call.
Maybe on the next call. Maybe, I don't know. You're gonna have to invite me to
yeah, it would be great pleasure. Okay, so going on ahead with the agenda, Zahid from Jutsu.ai. Zahid is also like regular on those community calls, and we are very happy to have him around as well. This great smile never leaves you away, so it's pretty good to see you, Zahid. Hope you're doing good, and please take it away.
Yeah, anywhere there are developer, I'm there. Okay, so I think some of you probably, I see a lot of new faces. So Jutsu is an IDE for building decentralized frontend. So you can go to app.jutsu.ai and kind of explore. So what Elliot showed about showed the local development, and you can do the similar thing in kind of a web-based environment. So that's kind of the kind of what Jutsu is. But like today, I'm mostly interested to share our Q1 kind of a review. So what we did so far in Q1 and what we are going to do in Q2. These are not like the exact list, like we did a bunch of other things, but this Q1 we created kind of a much better search feature for discovery. So if you go, like, the search is much better. Of course, we are still suffering with the RPC and kind of indexing. We are still relying on Pagoda RPC. So that's something we'll work this sprint to make it much better. Other than that, a lot of you probably know, if you go to a component and then in other gateway, you have to kind of go to show the to see the code for a component, you have to do a bunch of stuff. But in Jutsu, you can just click a dot. It's more like a GitHub dot. Any repository, you go to GitHub, you press dot, and it open up in the editor. So that's one of the features that we build. And then you can go through some of those features. I'm going to share some links where we have a video about all the features that we did. This sprint, one of the most exciting thing that we want to do is like a partner with probably BuildDAO and kind of build a better integration with local and web-based development, because I found after talking with lots of developers, some people like local environment, but some other people also like to build in web-based IDE, which is quick. And then how can we mash these two things together and kind of still provide a better experience? Component discovery, we want to improve it much better, probably creating a template library. Styled will improve more. Just go through some of those. We have already built some of this feature, Copilot, and some of the other feature, but this is a public roadmap. Anyone who is interested can request features. So we kind of, at Jutsu, we want to build with the community. So if you need any feature, or if you feel like somewhere we can improve the developer experience, we are all for it. So just let me know. And yeah, so and then give it a try. So we introduced this another feature, Bento, which is a generative UI feature where you can create a component based on prompt. Give it a try. We have live collaboration. It's more like a Google Doc style collaboration where collaboratively we all can work on a component. So yeah, that's it. I don't want to take up a lot of time. I'm going to share a lot of those links where it will kind of give you an idea of, we have a detailed article, what we did, and then we have a video that you can watch. Thank you. If you have any question, I'm happy to answer.
Great. Thank you very much, Zahid. Thanks a lot. Very prompt presentation. Just a reminder, all of the links that are being shared in the chat, and also links to the project, they will be in the descriptions into the recording of the video. They would also be able to be seen on the tools community page on neardevhub.org. So last but not least, we have Luke from NearBlocks. We are all familiar with NearBlocks. This is the most prominent explorer on Near at the moment. And recently, some of you might have seen it already, but NearBlocks is already on the BOS. So it's fully developed. It's not partially, but mostly deployed on the chain. So the entire front end is on the chain, which is great effort. Congrats for this effort, Luke. Looking forward to see what are you presenting us with.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that. Let me just share my screen quickly. I think I have a few slides. It's obviously a bit less technical than everyone else here. I'm not technical myself, but yeah, feel free to drop some questions, and we can talk in the group chats after this as well. But basically, yeah, just very quickly, so going through recent updates, what's in the works, and then maybe a bit on things that we could work on, I guess, as a community as well. So yeah, as you were saying, we've released the Explorer on BOS, which took quite a bit of time. There's going to be like a bunch of components that we can show on a dedicated page. So, for example, like your transaction tables, accounts, etc. We're hoping that people can build off that, especially like DeFi related apps. They can like ping all this historic data. It's quite interesting. But we're going to create a UI for that specifically as well. So you'll be able to like check which components are available and hopefully ping them. But yeah, this I guess like upgrade came with a lot of improvements as well on the infra side. We over the past couple of months we got quite a few complaints, especially with the like neat all the inscriptions, and since then there's been I guess us transitioning to like new infrastructure. So this is all out now. So we're quite happy. Hopefully everyone sees like the speed improvements, etc. On the API, but also on the front end side. And I think, yeah, like as you were saying, like we are now, I guess, like the main explorer for this for the whole protocol. And we can see that through these stats. So these are stats from February and March. We have around 250,000 users over those 2 months. I think around 500,000 page views as well. Most of them are from direct or referrals, or like your Web3 wallets, NFT marketplaces, DEXs, listing websites. They all point towards NearBlocks for, I guess, like a source of truth, and we want to continue to be able to provide that user experience. And yeah, as you can see, like there's friends from Russia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Ukraine, Nigeria, the US, India, so really from around the world. We do want to propose NearBlocks in all these local languages. It is open source. We're not necessarily prominent in all these local languages. So if people want to commit to the translations on our GitHub, then we'd be more than open to that. But yeah, trying to keep it up. It's obviously a growing protocol now. I think everyone sees like the growth in transactions. So yeah, want to continue to support and hopefully there'll be less bugs, less crashes, etc. So yeah, I mean, this past month it's been about speed, the API and the site. Quite a few NFT collections came to us, and tokens as well, like your stake near Metapool, Sweatcoin even, for the hold account. So now on tokens and fungible tokens and non-fungible tokens, the account, the number of holders is in real time. As you can see here, I think it has one or two blocks in delay. But yeah, overall it's getting better. We're syncing up on remaining tokens. I'm not sure why this is not loading it. Maybe a bad example. But yeah, overall, like a lot of improvements in terms of speed. Another feature that we're looking to release and we're working on is a comment section. So here, this directly pings near social. We just need to add like a connect wallet here, which will use the wallet selector, and then people will be able to leave comments on tokens. Same for NFTs and addresses, for that matter. It's a 2-level thread, so you can have replies as well. And I think the goal here is to just get people more active, especially like for scams and stuff like that. They can actually comment. Yeah, and just basically leave a trace here, and this pings near social. Besides that, yeah, contract interactions, we pushed that out. Sort of ABI. So this works on token contracts. Let me just check here, so you can interact with tokens, so you can connect your wallet. And then, yeah, just play around with it. So yeah, that's what we've been working on. What we have in the works, more analytics for addresses and users, so time series like token balance, highest peaks, for I guess like value, what an address is holding over time. We have some requests for API endpoints, we'll be adding them. And then we're working on a dark version for those that don't like this bright white color. And then, yeah, the last one is basically a light version of NearBlocks, so like a very raw Explorer built on BOS as well, where you can just enter an address and then see a bit of analytics. So for those that don't want to go through the entire dApp, an Explorer, they can just enter a wallet and then see a bit of information there as well. So like a light version of it. And then, yeah, this is more recent, but there's also with like I guess the growing ecosystem, there's a lot more scams and spams and stuff like that. So we're thinking it might be worth setting up like an open source token list of scams and like fake tokens and stuff like that, which we could then on the Explorer as a scam. So this is something that we could probably work with the community. Again, we're open to that and seeing how we can, I guess, like delegate that and work with the community. Same for local language translations. And then what we're thinking as well is on token pages, we could also have like announcements in the blogging section. So for example, if you're a new token and you want to announce news or announcements or guides or anything related to your project, then have like a blog section here, similar to like the FAQ, where you can post announcements. And this is maybe something that we could link towards near social as well, with maybe like the developer address. So it's verified or it's dedicated to the team, the marketing team or something like that. So yeah, that's I guess a bit of an update from our side.
Amazing.
No, that's it for me.
Thanks a lot, Luke. Actually, on the spam token side, I don't know if any of you know, but actually I collect spams and scams for the past 2 years on Near. So I have a lot of contract spam URLs and like scam URLs that are already being shared in the public channel. So I definitely would love to join forces and like try to bring a little bit more security onto the front end side of our space. So yeah, looking forward to contribute to that. So yeah, thanks a lot. Meanwhile, let me just share my final slides, and then we go here.
Do you have a list, public list?
Yes, I have already put some of the public list that it's already on the Dev Hub. I can point it to you. This would conclude the call, and it is an amazing call, a great vibe, and I'm truly happy to be part of this community for real. Once again, if you want to present your work, suggest discussion topics, or want to get involved, join our Telegram group or visit the Tools community page. These sessions are held every second Tuesday of the month, if you're not aware, so they're in a set amount of the interval. So if you want to get updates and to be in time with all the updates that we have from the ecosystem in the development side, I strongly suggest you to subscribe to the Near Dev Hub newsletter. You can see on the link on the slides. This is the link for the last version that we had, and somewhere I think top left corner there is the subscribe. Just join them. They are full of updates from all across the ecosystems, and yeah. So that would conclude it. I thank you for being here, and I look forward to see you all around again. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you everyone for this call. Bye, guys.